When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, BigBeat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Quasar Markets Live. It's Tuesday, December 30th, and the vibe this morning is year-end cruise control. Markets are fairly tame, liquidity is thin, and that means two things. Price action can line, and headlines can move things more than they should. BigBeat, how you doing this morning?
Good. Yesterday was fun day, right? Three quick moves, trades, and killed it. Taking advantage of the volatility or the lack thereof is pretty easy here. I think one of the things that when we look at the new year, I guess starting on Friday, you have to wonder whether or not how are these firms positioning themselves? And I don't think they're positioning themselves in a way that says, oh, look, I now own this company. I now own an AI company. They're not doing that, right? What they're doing is they are trying to play the game because they're seeing the asset class movements is pretty fast, meaning that they're leaving the stock market and going back into in this case, silver, which is now at 5.6%, right? Paper. That's all there is to it. This is liquidity on drugs. So this is what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. As you said, metals bouncing back after taking a rough day yesterday. That's the big cross asset story, metal volatility, silver's whiplash and dragging gold and copper with it. What's your take on it today, Steve? It didn't get quite down to your 66, but got pretty close down to the 70 level on silver and then bounced back pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I made a big post of it. I covered it, right? So then I covered my short, and I did. That's probably the best trade I've ever made in my life, and it was so easy. Not that financially it was the best, but that it was so easy and so noticeable that the institutions were going to be, they're done with this. They're like, what the heck? And it's going to happen again. Another rug pull will come, and it'll happen right on them, and they won't know what's happening to them, and they won't understand it, and they'll buy right back in. They're buying paper on paper on paper. Look, it's the world that we live in right now. It scares me because it's a gambling mentality, and that's what's happening right now. And what not that it scares me about these people, but that they won't have any money when they retire. They'll be like, oh well, I invested my whole. Oh, no, you didn't. You gambled, right? You gambled your future away, and that's what happened. So we're trying to keep them from gambling your future away to actually investing. So. No, I'm not a big fan of what's going on, but that's the market that we live in right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the wildest trades of 2025. Just had the largest one-day dollar drop since 1980 when Peter Thomas and the Hunt brothers were trying to corner the market, right? Down about 8.7% on Monday to roughly the low 70 area after the explosive run. Do you think the bulls are finally getting spooked? Is this going to spook retail?
No, but look, I don't think anybody on the planet loves charts more than me. I'm charting for 35 years. Charts are boring. I mean, the charts are literally the most boring thing in the planet when it comes to investing. There's so many more cooler things in the world to look at than charts. And what does that mean? Well, it's very simple. It's because charts have certain things you add to them and numbers and money. But the thesis behind it, why things actually move, is more exciting than oh, look at that, it's bouncing off this line. Okay, well, that's great. To me, fishing is more important. When I go fishing, it's not just about catching the fish, it's about all the different ways to catch that fish. Right? It's not, oh, I put a worm on a hook. That's what charts are. It's a worm on a hook. There's 5 billion different ways to catch that fish, and I want to understand how that fish is caught. When I look at that, and I'm not trying to go throw in 1,000 hooks to catch one fish, right? So I'm trying to bring it down to a much easier level to understand. But I want to throw 1,000 hooks to catch 1,000 fish. And right now what's happening is that we're all fishing in the same pond, meaning that when you throw that line out, we're all fishing for the silver trade, right? How do I make that trade? Is it based on charts? Is it based on the CME news the other day? Is it based on whether the president gets in trouble with tariffs? Is it China news coming out? Is it China closing down the exports? I want to put 1,000 hooks out there, and I want to figure out what's really making it tick. And if I don't understand it, which at this point I don't understand silver, and I dumped all my silver, thankfully, and then I shorted it and made a ton of money that way. I need to understand that. And right now, at the end of the year, with low volatility, and that's what's happening. This is not fundamental. This is not news driven now. This is low volatility, and you're starting to see that. That's right. Thin tape and leverage, fast flushes. You got it. And people are going to be like, well, why did my chart didn't show this? This news of China didn't tell me this. Well, that's right, because you got to put it all together in one place and understand the bigger macro picture around it. And I don't think that the average trader that's buying 50,000 calls, is getting it. Guess what? When you put that order in, Ken Griffin of Citadel goes, yeah, I know where your orders are in. I'm going to take your money and stick it in my freaking pocket and build a new damn house, which he is. Robinhood's got a whole new product because of the cheap trades, right? That's what we're seeing right now. So yeah, absolutely right, Howard. Thin trade right now. I would not be touching this trade at all. This is silliness.
Okay, we are about 20 minutes from the open here. Advanced decline. It's been climbing up throughout the morning to about 1250 right now. So there is a little breath in the move to the upside. It's basically very muted across the indices, but it's about the opposite of what we saw yesterday. There is a decent amount of stocks that are up, a half a percentage point to 5 percentage points. And the laggards, there's not many, and they're usually down about a half a percentage point. So we are seeing the setup that way, feeling that we maybe start to see that Santa rally you talked about, Steve, today.
Yeah. I think today and tomorrow, it's early, it's a 1 o'clock close tomorrow. But the flight to safety right now is not silver, right? The flight to safety is not Palantir. The flight to safety has been those stocks that have been beaten up, right? And JP Morgan down 1.27%, now is down up 0.21%. So I'm not really showing. I had Kevin Green on Schwab Network on yesterday, and Kevin and I talk about it from an institutional side all the time. That what is the fluctuation, right? Where are we moving to? And it's energy. That's the rotation, right? It's the picks and axes and shovels to the AI trade. So energy is going to be hot, right? We know that. So where do we go into the energy trade? Do we buy nat gas futures? Do we buy oil, which right now oil is at 58.40? Do we buy the companies, Consolidated Energy? In which direction do we go? And I think that's the confusion that we're having right now in that rotation. I just saw some news coming in. SoftBank has fully funded OpenAI commitment of $40 billion now, according to CNBC. It's coming in right now.
Nice.
But AI is dead, right, Howard? I mean, AI. That's what I'm saying. The news is not telling you the answer. Charts are not telling you the answer. Masa-san is telling you where he's putting his money, right? That's the difference, right? When I say to people, your charts aren't answering your question of whether or not you should buy right here or not. It's not telling you that answer. Masa-san is telling you, I'm putting $40 billion into it. And guess what? He is watching the news. He is watching social media. He does know where the world is going. JP Morgan, find out where they're putting their money. That's what you should do. It's not whatever's being put out on social media. I'm buying this and I'm shorting this. Even I do it. Even I'm guilty of putting that out there, right? But I do it based on actual understanding the fundamental behind it, of why it's happening. Why am I investing in AI? Because Howard, you and I use AI every day.
Yeah.
Right? Why do I shorting stocks in like Brown-Forman and Constellation, things that why? Because no one's drinking alcohol anymore. But that's not a chart telling me that the answer is that. A chart is what it tells me. It confirms to me. It tells me where the price has been. Price action. And price action dictates, right? But it doesn't tell me how to invest early. It doesn't tell me how to make that decision early. And so when we talk about, when you ask the question in a broader general about, hey, how should we position ourselves for January and February and March? Because we all know one thing, how January goes, so goes the rest of the year. So how do we position for that? And that's a great question. And I think that's energy. I think we're going to have a great first half of the year. And I think we're going to have a terrible second half of next year because the focus is not going to be about the markets. It's going to be about the election, midterms. And money's going to tell you, right? And you're going to hear it from politicians trying to keep their seats and all that, where they're also investing and what they're thinking and what their bills are going to be, right? And you know damn well that they don't care about us. They care about themselves, right? So
Yeah,
staying in, the first thing you learn when you get to Washington is how to stay. So what are they
try, that's for sure.
Right. So what are they investing in? And I think you're right. I think they're investing in AI, and I think they're investing in some, I mean, they're playing the silver market here, but I think crypto's going to be very hot coming in the first of the year here. I think you're going to see a lot of buying coming into the crypto names.
Yep. Hopefully, we'll see what comes here. We are about 15 minutes from the open. Steve, geopolitical side, a lot of rough news overnight, right? Saudi Arabia, UAE, they're not happy with each other. Russia, Ukraine, they're not happy with each other. Iran and Israel, they're not happy with each other. The U.S. and Venezuela, they're not happy with each other. What's going on here?
Well, you heard it straight from Steve Flanagan telling you, right, that this is a quantum convergence, right? That there's a world turnover here. And I think that the rogue countries, North Korea, some of these countries that are really playing the edges here are testing the boundaries of our president. Oh, he's going to fire up on Venezuela. Great. You know what? Cambodia is kicking off, right? Oh, Taiwan is kicking off. Great. Ukraine, Putin's puppet. I mean, it's happening, right? I mean, they're testing the boundaries of the president, and they're testing the boundaries of other countries, and the realignment of these countries are starting to happen. So, how do I invest on that? Not easy, right? You had to think about it. So you said it yesterday. Kratos Defense is a good example of that, right? I mean. My God, how many defense companies are there? Raytheon and General Dynamics. You got to think about that. The president told you flat out he's going to be building new subs, and he's building new ships. He's going to put his name on it. Sorry, you can't put your name on your own ship. Sorry, that's illegal. But
silly rules don't matter to him.
Don't matter. But that's defense contracts, right? Yeah. And we know that they're blowing $2 trillion a year the Defense Department can't find. So where's that money going, right? And so that's the kind of question mark that we have to ask. And guess what? It is going to Skunk Works. It is going to a Boeing. It is going to a GD or a Raytheon. It is going to Lockheed Martin, right? So L&T. So, look, that's where the rotation should be thinking about. If all these things are happening, charts ain't telling me that. News ain't telling me that. That's just having common sense. If we're going to war, then we need to spend money in war. Great. What companies get that money? That's how you invest, right? I have spent decades learning from the very brightest of the world how to invest. And I guarantee you, the richest people on the planet are not. Elon Musk is not going, I can't wait to buy Twitter because of the chart. He bought Twitter because he wanted to own the media, right? When you look at it from Rupert Murdoch's position, he didn't care what the damn chart was telling him about Warner Brothers. He wanted to own the media and send his son into it. That's how rich get richer. They're not looking at charts. They're looking at the next level of how to invest.
With that being said, let's stick to the news. Meta and AI arms race. Reuters reports that Meta agreed to acquire Manus, an AI agent startup, for more than $2 billion. Takeaway is not the deal side, it's that mega cap tech is still in the AI land grab mode into year end. Steve, is the market going to reward this AI M&A, or is it going to scrutinize the spend?
$95 a share. Meta, Facebook, $95 a share. The news was banging on him because he was spending way too much money on AI. What's Meta stock at today?
658.
There was no charts on $95. It was about what he was actually spending it. It wasn't about the news. He was already spending the money. The news didn't even know what he was spending it on long after that, right? But you could have known that. And he's telling you, if I am investing this kind of, listen, I just had a chat with Facebook's team yesterday on late afternoon. The stuff he's working on is astronomically awesome. I mean, I couldn't even understand it. I was trying to understand what he's trying to work on. It's crazy awesome, right? He doesn't care what the stock price is. Jeff Bezos said, I didn't care what my charts and stock price was when I started investing in my company. I knew, because I knew what the sales were. I knew what I was looking at in the future. So right now, that's what the problem is. We're chasing the past instead of creating a future. So you're right, Howard. That's what I need to look at. When you see these news articles come out that seem small as some things, it's really not small. It's huge. Why are companies, and I've said this, M&A is going to be hot. It has been super white hot. Cheap money and the future. So those two things, now we need to understand why they're investing in these things. What are they building that's so cool? And they need to understand R&D and the amount of money that's being spent. Why was Amazon blowing $100 million a month building Amazon? Because they knew it was the next level. So what is it that Facebook is building? What is it that he needs to add on? Why is he buying these companies to make them better? What is it that they're trying to create? What ecosystem are they building? That'll give you.
Does this mean that AI agent companies change the monetization path?
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I heard the other day someone, we're building AI agents. Well, that's great, but that's the past, right? ChatGPT, Perplexity, all the companies that do this are already doing that. So watch to see these companies, what they're actually investing in. That's when you're going to make your big money. $19 an ounce on silver. My thesis back then was, I think all the things that everybody thinks of today, the news now tells you that was right. The news ain't telling me that anymore. What's happening is now we're seeing that the money being spent for AI is the next level of AI. We're not building a 14.4 baud modem now. We're building the next, that's right, the automation layer. That's right. And where is that money being spent? That's what I want to know. And when I know that, I'll tell you where to invest. MongoDB is a great example, MDB, right? Because they're the back end for companies that don't have all these products. Makes it a lot easier for them, right? If you don't have the narrative AI in your system, guess what? Anthropic, Claude, Amazon, right? Amazon, AWS went down. Google went down. So Cloudflare blew up, right? Guess what? Cloudflare stock fell. Chart didn't tell me that. Chart told me where the buyers were going to be to come back. And Cloudflare right back up. AVGO, Broadcom, another good example of that. Broadcom is a chipsets that they're investing in. That stock got beaten up for no freaking reason. Great. Guess what I'm going to do? And I did. I bought AVGO. It's going right back up. So that's what I'm talking about when I say the narrative has a narrative change, has the thesis change, as I always say, right? And what is the thesis? And I think that's the biggest problem that we have as investors right now is we don't know the thesis outside of AI. Is there a thesis outside of AI and the world blowing up geopolitical issues? Don't know. That's really the two. And you've talked about that this morning. So there it is, Howard, right? So how do I invest in that? And I think that's the question. And my charts ain't telling me what to invest in right now.
Well, I got a question staying on the fundamental side. Applied Digital, their cloud structure shift. They announced they plan to spin off their cloud business and combine it with Elsco Bionics. A company release and market coverage noted the pre-market reaction has been strong to this, up about 4.5%. This is small cap structure news worth watching in thin markets. Steve, you watching this one closely today?
Why are they buying it? It's exactly what I've been saying. Why are they buying it? Right? Why is Applied Digital? Why are they changing their in mid-stride? Why are they changing? A company does not change their stripes in midstream for no reason. They know what's going on, and that's good that they're doing that. So where are they investing? What are they buying, right? And we can buy sympathy plays out of that, right? Okay, we can't buy that company now. So now what companies are still out there? What's the sympathy play, as I call it, out there that is next? What companies are around that company that kind of that feeling? Okay, I can't buy Disney, so I'm going to buy Six Flags or Cedar Fair. What can I buy? Right? That's the key to this, and I agree with that. And all of that, guess what? All of this needs energy. Energy is now in such desperate need. I was reading the other day about the sheer amount of water. The amount of water that we have used in AI last year equals the same amount of water that was spent and put into bottled water. The amount of drinking water that we put into bottles is now equal to the amount of water being spent to cool down the machines for AI in 1 year. That ain't going to stop, right? So what's going to happen next year? They're going to need more water. So guess what? There's a whole water thing to me. AWK is probably a good example of that. And guess what? We're going to need clean water. I'm looking at AWK right now, American Waterworks Company, one of my favorites. Guess what? That stock right now has been beaten up. If you look at a daily chart on AWK, that high there was probably around 155, right? 155.50 was the high. Guess what? Now my charts are very, very, very useful. AWK is a good example of that. Is AWK the only water company out there? No. It's a thesis. So if we know that we need water, we know AI is the thesis, what is it that we need to invest in? So put some money away. And guess what? While you're waiting on that, does AWK pay a dividend?
Yes, they do.
2.5% while you wait. Right? So that's what I'm saying to people. It's not just trying to understand the next silver move. It's about understanding before the silver moves, before other people get the idea, right? So if you know the answers to these questions, you can get a much better answer to the problem. And so that's what we try to build at Quasar Markets, right? A better question to a better answer to a better question to a better answer to get you a better investment. We're about 6 minutes away from trading. What am I looking at right now? I think it's probably the next question to out of you is probably, I do like the fact that Bitcoin's back above 88,000 here, Howard.
Yep, nice little move up. Still in the same range, though. Not really much going on there.
Tesla up a little bit here this morning. Now Tesla, I got banged because I didn't like, my Tesla short. Guess what? That Tesla short's looking pretty good. I didn't put it on. I've already pulled it off, but you can see right now that Tesla could be hurting today and tomorrow. I think. I did see where Waymo has moved into St. Louis, and half their cars didn't even work. So guess what? That's Google, right?
Yeah. Steve, what about you looking at the metal miners today with all the volatility? That's been about the one sector that's got the most volatility.
The problem with the miners right now is the cost of mining. The miners that'll do very well are the miners who did not dump their silver into the market, right? It's like Bitcoin. Think about it. Those Bitcoin miners who don't hold, right? And then the price goes up, then they dump. I think you got to look at that. You look at Newmont Mining. NEM is a good example. I've been trading Newmont Mining for I can't even tell you how long. Yesterday, that stock's down 6% on the back of that. They do keep their metals. They are very smart about it, and they do hedge, meaning that they do buy futures contracts against those metals. So I like that. HNY, there you go. Steve Flanagan talking about HNY this morning. Happy New Year, right? Appreciate that, Steve. I do think that if you look at some miners, this is one of them that I do like, but a market cap of 108 billion. So this is one that you would invest in. I do think that they had a nice run, so I'm not sure that I'm excited about it yet. But if you pull up a daily chart, which now I do think the charts are important, you did see definitely a sell-off yesterday, and it could come back. I just would be very, very careful here with Newmont Mining.
Okay. What about Boeing, Steve?
Oh my God! I can't believe you said Boeing. Literally the one I was looking at, Howard. You're absolutely right. In fact, I was getting ready to bring that one up with their contract yesterday, right? Why is
an
if Boeing
$8.5 billion tied to fighter jets for Israel's Air Force? So are you playing them, or are you looking, like you said, at RTX, Lockheed, or some of the other folks that might get the next contracts?
I mean, how many news articles did you hear with Boeing is a terrible company, Boeing's a terrible company, Boeing's a terrible company, they got all these problems, and then all of a sudden they got all these contracts. There's a reason why they got the contracts. They're the ones who can actually do it, build the planes. They're it's like something like a 6-year backlog on planes right now. And if they get the MAX up and running and fixed and get approval, and I think that this administration might approve the MAX, Boeing stock ain't 218, it's 518. Right? Yeah. So, but they still have their problems. RTX, obviously, I think we look at RTX, you're at the top of the 52-week range. Not that's when your charts do matter, right? And late, obviously, looking at Lockheed Martin, LMT, Lockheed Martin making another bit of a push here, 440 to 490 here. Now there's this run. I think it might be also hitting some limits here too as well. Now this stock did get up to over 650, somewhere around there. I'll give the exact numbers here. But last pull up a day chart, I think it got to about 618, somewhere around there, back in October.
597.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes now of the open here, but look, the liquidity here is just not there today. Be careful out there. You could get really smacked around today. So,
absolutely, we are 1 minute from the open here. Advanced decline right around 1100, so it's come off of the highs of the morning. Q's down about 18 basis points implied on the open. S&P down about 6 basis points implied on the open. Dow pretty flat. Volatility index at 1443 here, so not really giving you direction one way or the other. The DXY did regain 98 here this morning, so that should make Mr. Flanagan a little bit happier. And as we talked about, metals rebounding nicely, with silver up about 5.74%, copper up another 5% here, and gold rebounding 1.36%. Bitcoin right at 88,000 as we look at it here. Ethereum still unable to hold 3,000, but both of those are up 1%. And we do see another move to the upside this morning by WTI and Brent. We are open here, so we'll see here what we start to get on the open. Q's bouncing to the upside to start off with there. SPY also first moves a little bit to the upside here.
I'm going to short some silver here, I think.
Okay, Steve's going to be short some silver here.
Yeah. I haven't done it yet. I'm still holding. Boeing up 1.2% here. ASTS now up 2% here. MongoDB up. We talked about that this morning. Intel, up another 1%.
Do you see ACMR and taking a nice little move? ACM Research up about 6.7%, taking a little bit nice move to the upside on the open. Navient also up about 3.88% here. Space back in play today. Rocket Labs up about 4.6. ASTS, Steve mentioned, up a little bit here. Lunar up, Fly up. So space is back in play so far this morning. See if that holds or not.
Tesla is slipping here again.
Chip sector pulling back a little bit from the morning highs, but we do see NVIDIA, AVGO, TSM, and ASML have moved all to the upside there.
Yeah, I am short Tesla here. Oh, yeah. It's a trade though, so not to get too crazy out there. It was a trade, but wow.
The NASDAQ underperformed, the Mag 7 underperformed the S&P, and you did have things like quality and equal weight do a little bit better. But it has been rare, those moments when that
Could be. You are seeing Qs pushing a little bit here. There are some buyers.
To your point, the money continues to move towards
Yes,
But I don't see anything. I don't see anything in this market to hold anything up here.
That's the problem. There's no follow through. Everything that goes up comes
Right.
back down pretty quickly.
Yeah, there goes the dump there in Tesla.
Maybe there's some expectation where it would come out of the meetings.
So the drop here, I think, could.
Trump or President Putin and Zelensky, not a big imminent resolution there. Also, I think
There's some buyers and they're trying to hold her up, but not much.
Yahoo yesterday, in Mar-a-Lago, and threatened Iran that they would face strikes if they seek to replenish their ballistic missiles or their nuclear arms program. So just few geopolitical risks to put front and center into it's hard to extrapolate
There she goes.
markets, but we watch them. We watch things.
I do have an order in there.
Not to mention what's happening in Canada right now. In China, I told you, doing military drills. We're watching all of this going into next year.
I'm just trying to make a move back to the downside here for you.
It's already moving to. I just want to see if I can get another dip there.
No, for sure. I mean, every 5-year chart right now for commodities or stocks does have that, quick shock, kind of interruption in the invasion of Russia and Ukraine, and then it was almost completely undone.
Oh, there it is.
There it goes.
And one more dip there, I think, and I will.
Tick is down about 200 here. We do see NASDAQ down about 5 basis points here on the day. S&P down about 8 basis points, still sliding to the downside. Dow Jones down about 3% here also. And the rut also to the downside. So
I will say that my back channels, when it comes to geopolitical issues around the oh, there it is, Howard. I think I just got lifted here. I'm pretty sure it did here.
Nice.
No, not yet. Close. It's a very tight range.
Make a case that you can get a little bit of a mean reversion move that sometimes the January activity and all those seasonal effects, I think, kind of get anticipated by.
Oof. Oh, I think I got lifted there, sir.
Okay.
No,
Very
not
good.
Still not lifted
No,
yet.
you were right there. You were right there.
They're tight. They're tight. I'm okay with it. I think they'll be able to drop here. Coming. Yeah, it's coming here. Oh my God, there it is. They're trying to test my patience here a little bit.
UNH 332 here, Steve, moving to the upside.
Yeah.
Meta, nice little move to the upside here on that news, up on 1.2%. So Meta getting a little bit of a run on the news of that Meta purchase. So there goes your answer. People do seem to like it.
And man, did I get lifted or not? I can't tell. Oh, I did it. I got lifted. There it goes.
There you go.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what I mean by lifted, it means they executed my order. So yeah. Oh wow. And there it goes again. Just keep shorting Tesla on those. 455. Oh wow, look at that sell off now. 454.
Yeah, 454 keeps me to the downside, down another 1%. I'd watch for it to go all the way down to 445 here.
Whoa. ASTS up 5% now. And that's what I mean. Like, that's the theme right now. The thesis right now is space. It's AI. And I should
rejected right at 200-day MA. If Meta can break 671.50 here, watch for a real move to the upside.
If the hold here happens on Tesla, it could push right back up, but it's, you know, path of least resistance right now is to the downside. That's a huge contract with the Pentagon for F-15s, $8.6 billion contract. I mean, to go to Israel. Whew.
Yeah, definitely. You see ACMR still running to the upside here, up 9.28%. So one of the big winners so far this morning. A little bit of a penny pumper today. AEHL has very low float too. You can see this one really run 217. Definitely broke to the upside. Bitcoin can't hold that 88. NVIDIA's gone negative now on the day also. So we are seeing the big mega names still see some profit taking there. Apple down a 1/4 percentage point. Amazon down 20 basis points. Tesla has bounced back up to 455.75. Netflix down a 0.5 percentage point. So again, the major names are moving to the downside a little bit here.
Company, but I noted that because typically you don't see U.S. companies acquiring Chinese founded companies.
Not a ton going on. UNH, like I said, up 1.6% here. Continues to have its move back to the upside.
Kratos Defense, KTOS now down about a little less than 1% here. It's really struggling here.
Yeah, it hasn't been able to get the momentum. It looked like it was gonna the other day when it broke through its 50-day MA, but now it's struggling to hold.
The interesting thing on KTOS is that big old gap to about 86.80. It's a huge gap. It just can't seem to get out of that.
Yeah, no, that's where it got rejected. You are right.
Yeah, my back channels, I mean, it's just, I'm getting dinged all day long now.
Gold pulling back, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find precious metals to be where it's at anymore. That thesis is over. That's what I'm saying. Japan says that they are concerned over Chinese military drills near Taiwan, according to Kyoto Press.
To my favorite situation, of course, the fight for Warner Brothers. If we can this morning, we haven't heard the response yet from Warner Brothers to what was that revised proposal from Paramount last week, where they tidied up the equity financing, if you can call it that, saying it's an irrevocable guarantee from
UNH, Meta, Oracle making a nice move to the upside here. About 76 basis points here, trying to make a move.
AVGO motion pushing a little bit.
Chinese names are all getting a boost today also.
Oh yeah, gold dropping now here.
Yeah.
View of valuation around the global networks piece of the business that will trade publicly, given the Netflix deal is only for the streaming and studio part of Warner Brothers. But what they're also going to talk about apparently is, we still wonder whether we will be able to refinance the bridge for global networks of $1.5 billion. Essentially, want them to walk in or move into the merger agreement and all the terms thereof that's already been signed by Netflix. And there's been some expression of
Yeah, anything to sort of get some speed on it, gets sold off pretty quickly here. Qs are at the lows of the cash market so far. SPY down about 10 basis points. Dow Jones down about 20 basis points here. Trading towards the lows of the day. So advanced decline's gone negative here. Tick still negative. So not a good start to the day here as the algos sort of work their way through the market.
UNH up almost $6 now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Big boys don't care about it. 455.13 now in Tesla.
This entrance is a whole new world.
they put themselves squarely under that scrutiny.
All right. Mike, thank you for joining us. Mike Santoli, by the way, don't miss closing down today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Mike is bringing the famed mystery broker.
See, notes Japan concerned over Chinese military drills near Taiwan.
Yeah.
Hitting the news. So again, definitely some.
This back with it, but it's been a fun gimmick for 16 years now. 16 years.
See you at 3 p.m.
Definitely watching Meta here. If it can break that 200-day MA, I do think you can get a real runner here on this one. Lots of room to the upside. You can see the gap there. Woo. That's a big one.
Choose a photo that you love. You can preview it in over 100 frames, and in a couple of days, you're going to receive your photo.
NVIDIA now down a half percentage point here.
Yep.
Same thing with Netflix. Tesla breaking to the downside again. ASML having a good day, up 1.1%. Same thing, Intel up 1.2%. So we do still have a few chip names that are moving to the upside there.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, overall it is. Tick still muted down about 110, 120. Advanced decline's gone negative 300 now, so it does look like some more sort of housekeeping profit taking happening if you look at it.
Yeah, window dressing.
Yep. Not seeing a lot out there, Steve. Are you seeing anything?
No, I'm not. And and I'm scanning 10,000 stocks at a time, right? So it's like,
yeah, nothing's really.
Yeah.
Everything sort of made a little bit of a run, and then that's it. You see some of the miners picking up rare RARE, moving to the upside, but even most of the early morning gainers like ASTS have pulled back a little bit. Molina Healthcare, Healthcare has got a nice little run here over the last few days. Steve, also up about 3.45% here.
Microsoft
Like
is a bit
wants
red.
to try to close a gap too. Take a look at MOH. Interesting little chart there, Steve. Little cup and handle.
Little Molina Healthcare, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, UNH and Molina, and you know, those companies are all.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything right now.
Yeah, and when I see worries me, like even I would love to play Molina here, but you know, anything that's made a move like that's had a natural pullback right now.
Yeah.
So you can't really get too far following those runners because they're not really running. Chicago PMI data is just hitting here. 43.5 versus 40. Nice little beat, but that's still in retraction, right, Steve?
All right, I'm going to short some silver here, boys and girls.
Okay.
All right, I went short. I bought ZSL. It's the pro short one.
With the Pro Shares Ultra Short.
Yeah.
Even figure out that they can do this problem. You start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed. Fortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim.
Yeah.
Home status now at HomeTitleLock.com. My heart has experienced life-changing wins, losses, and countless lives. To keep living at my speed, I trust Qnol CoQ10. CoQ10 is the #1 cardiology recommendation.
Yeah, I think silver might get crushed here.
Brand access. Hey, Ryan was here. Wishing you a very happy holiday, because right now Midnight is offering you to get 50% off unlimited, which are set decorator, well, too pretty literally. To be clear, that's half the price, not half the service. Mint is still premium, unlimited wireless for a great price. We're vested, we're not reckless. So that means half day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Leaving. Stop going.
Before AG1, I was having some trouble maintaining consistency, and my energy was low. You know, the big change.
Not even much going on really at all.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Here goes Meta making that run. Let's see what it can do.
Oh, I don't know, buy a little bit more ZSL here.
Meta trying to get a little bit of movement going.
All right, buying a little bit more ZSL here on this drop. If I can get in fast enough here. And I did. There we go. Excellent.
Bitcoin, nice little run. 88,350 here. Nice little run. See if we can get back up towards that 90. Been in a tight range for a while here. Same thing with Ethereum.
Yeah.
Vince Decline has gone back positive here, so we are seeing some buyers step in now, finding some attractive things. S&P's gone slightly positive on the day, now up 2 basis points. Same thing, NASDAQ has gone slightly positive on the day. So we are seeing, as we get into the top of the hour here, a little bit of a move back into some of these positions.
There you go. Steve
88.5
finally got to ask me about drone technology. I agree with that. Drones are hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a thesis, right? If you know that war is happening and they're using drones and China's using drones and everybody's using drones and need drone parts, you know.
Yeah. AV is another good play for that one. Getting hit a little bit here and there.
AV. Oh my, yeah.
Now we think it's, gets less of a premium. So we've got $105 price target. Still a great company.
VIX just went flat, trying to go negative here on the day.
Bitcoin's back to almost 89,000 again.
Yeah, trying to make a run here. Definitely some liquidation is driving the bus here. Let's see if we can get a run back up to that 90,500 area.
Yeah. There we go. Come on, Silver. Drop.
Netflix just remains obviously in contract to purchase streaming and studios, Warner Brothers. They're not going to get the deal done next year. So is the stock just dead money as it waits for the regulatory?
We're talking about Netflix again on CNBC.
Yeah, I think it's hard for the stock to work when there's concern about
Meta trying to make that run here, right at key resistance.
and I think that's what kind of the biggest overhang. And then, in terms of like the core business, I do think that one of the questions that
ABGO up at buck.
they've entered into is really what they've entered into is, and this is sort of the right place to put it, this much capital at this point. Netflix has clearly done great with scripted content and TV and movies on their own. Do they need to put all this money to get more kind of scripted content, great scripted content, but more content from Warner Brothers? Or would they be better off moving in a different direction, where there's more user growth right now in places like user-generated short-form content?
Well, this is, I believe, the last week for Mr. Warren Buffett.
It is. It is. So lots of articles coming out with words of wisdom from him, which I do think people should pay attention to.
Yeah.
Steve, as we come up here on the top of the hour, what do you think? We finishing up or down today? Looks to me like the market wants to get a little bit of breathing room.
Market is tired. I think people are ready to go party a little bit. That's what I think. If you're trying to squeeze out $1 here in the last few days, then ouch,
Yeah, I can't argue there.
Zora's asking me how our holidays were, and I can tell her
Everything was great, Zora. Hope you are having the same. Hope you're having the same. Here goes Meta, 660, 881 highs of the day, trying to make a move here.
Yeah, if we can see
Once
silver
Meta
keep
breaks that 200-day MA, I think it really runs. 671 to 89 is that line I'm watching.
Come on, silver, keep selling. Ooh, there you go, silver. Hi-ho, baby. Keep going. Make a quick trade out of that. A little sell. Limit.
Tickets picking up and so's advanced decline. So again, as the retail sort of takes over for the algos, they do look to be buying the dip so far. We'll see if we can maintain that. S&P, NASDAQ have both gone positive on the day. Dow and the rut are still negative, but they are again moving to the upside slightly here.
John Schartz likes ASTS again. Interestingly enough. Yeah, ASTS up 9%. We talked about that this morning, right? Yeah. Oh, look at that ABGO now up all $1.60 now.
Bitcoin just took another little nice jump to the upside also.
If money comes out of the metals back into Bitcoin, that could be an answer for you.
Yeah. MSTR having a pretty decent day after getting beat up yesterday, up about 1.84%, trying to make a move to the upside. So the Bitcoin miners are trying to get a little bit of love going here today. We'll see what they get. Chip sector outside of NVIDIA and applied materials are actually all in the green today, so they're moving back up. Bitcoin challenging the 89 here. Here we go. Come on, get a little squeeze going. Qs are back up 621 here. So we are seeing some nice moves to the upside. Highs of the day on the cash market here as we end our day. Steve, what are our last words of the day for our traders?
Thesis. Remember why we invest. We invest to make money. We don't gamble. Understand that going into the new year. We invest.
Absolutely. From Quasar Markets, everybody, we will see you tomorrow. There is a shortened trading day. So for the last full trading day of the year, we will see you.